All right. Hello and welcome everybody to today's webinar for part of our 2024 summer webinar series. Today's webinar is Preparing to Teach Introduction to Software Technology and Introduction to Hardware Technology for Georgia-specific state courses. So welcome. Thank you for those of you that are joining live and for those that are watching the recording. I will go ahead and put the slides into the chat. They are also there at the bottom right of the slides there. So some brief introductions. My name is TJ Devane, and I'm a professional development specialist here at CodeHS, and excited to present these two Georgia-specific courses to you today, and looking forward to sharing some wonderful resources that we have. All right, so for any questions today, please go ahead and throw those into the Q&A, and we will be happy to answer those for you. For those of you that need a teacher account, you can sign up for a teacher account for free, and I will go ahead and drop that link into the chat. This will give you access to our curriculum, and all of our curriculum is free to use. So, and everything I talk about today will be available for free as well. So if you have not made your CodeHS account yet, please head to codehs.com/sign up so that you can go ahead and create your free teacher account today. All right, and then today we do have a workshop section, and this section is just will actually have all of the curriculum for both Intro to Software Technology and Intro to Hardware Technology all put into one course today. So this is an example of something you can do as a teacher where you can customize your courses. And so for the purpose of this workshop section, if you would like to join it, you will be able to access both courses from one assignment page. So once you have created your teacher account and you've signed into CodeHS, go ahead and click that link that is in the chat there, and it will pull up a page where you can simply just click Join Section, and you'll be able to view all of the curriculum that we are discussing today. And as well, for attending today's workshop, here is the attendance link. So this will help to keep track of who attended this workshop, and then also to receive a certificate of completion for attending today's workshop. All right, so real quick, for those of you that are not familiar with CodeHS, I do want to take some time to share who we are. So CodeHS, comprehensive platform for teaching computer science in elementary, middle school, and high school. So we provide a free K through 12 web-based computer science curriculum. We also offer online and offline professional developments. As you are viewing this one today, this is an example of one of our professional developments. And our entire software platform is available through just a web browser. You do not need to download any other resources or software in order to access that. So we are a comprehensive software platform. We have a full LMS integrated into our site that has a lot of great grading and data tracking tools to support teachers and to ultimately support our students for their love of computer science. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the meat of today's webinar. And the first thing that I want to share here is the Georgia CTAE Computer Science Pathways. And let me go ahead and throw this into the chat for everybody. So this resource, and let me pull it up as well so we can view this together. This is from the Georgia DOE website. And this is a fantastic resource to be able to view and understand um, all the different IT clusters that are offered in Georgia. And so one thing I will point out, so we can see we have cybersecurity, computer science, financial tech, game design, Internet of Things. The list goes on and on. So there's a lot of different pathways that are available for students in the state of Georgia. And again, for the purpose of this webinar is we are focusing on the course Intro to Software Technology and then also Intro to Hardware Technology. So definitely take a note at each of these pathways and where you see Intro to Software Tech and Intro to Hardware Tech. So one notable place is that Intro to Software Tech is one that appears a lot more frequently than you would see the Intro to Hardware Technology. And so it's just a great place to start and have a good bird's eye view from the state perspective of what courses are covered under which pathways. And so we'll talk about how our CodeHS, Intro to Software Tech, and Intro to Hardware Tech aligns with the Georgia state standards and where those can fit in into various pathways. The other great resource that I want to share is a CodeHS resource, and I'll go ahead and put that into the chat for you. So this CodeHS resource here, the Georgia Guide, is a great resource that shows how CodeHS is aligned to Georgia's 5 through 12 computer science academic standards and how it's fully aligned to courses in the Georgia's high school computer science pathway for Georgia's web development pathway as well. So the computer science and the web development pathway. So I'll pull this resource up here briefly as well. But that's another wonderful resource to bookmark and to know if you are unfamiliar with computer science standards and pathways in Georgia. And so we talked about the computer science pathway and the web development pathway and how those align. And so what we did at CodeHS is synthesize what courses we have available and which Georgia specific courses we offer and how those align with the state standards as well. And I believe on the next page, and these are just a couple of screenshots as well from that previous document that show the computer science and the web dev pathways and how we offer the Georgia Intro to Software Tech, AP Computer Science Principles, AP Computer Science A, and the web development course, and showing that those alignments fully align with those Georgia specific courses there. Another great resource that I'm going to go ahead and share here is the state page for Georgia. So on our site, we have a Georgia specific state page. And so I went ahead and put that into the chat as well. And so this is how a great, again, bird's eye view of how we can see, the computer science courses that we offer and how those align from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. And so this is great. So if you take a look at this web page here, another great one to bookmark. This will show you all of the courses and give you a comprehensive overview of each of those courses and their syllabus and a lot of great information to learn and understand more about these courses here. One thing I do want to point out in here as well. So we can view the Georgia pathways. So if I open up this tab, this is a cool resource where we can see, okay, so from kindergarten through 5th grade, what courses do we offer that are Georgia specific? And then middle school courses, which Georgia middle school courses do we offer? And then in terms of high school pathways as well, we have two different options, the Georgia IT Computer Science and the Georgia IT Web Development pathways as well. So you can see how those change and how those are different. And then from here, you're able to click right into those specific courses and see the course overview page, learn more about what that course offers, what level it's for, how long, the time frame, syllabus, all of that good stuff. So that is within the state page. That was the pathways there, the Georgia pathways. Next down here, we can explore the entire Georgia catalog as well. So if I open up this tool, this will bring me to a page of our course catalog that is already filtered to all of our Georgia specific courses. So from this page, we can, get a more detailed overview of what the course is by clicking Learn More. We can view the syllabus, take a look at the units from a higher level standpoint. We can enroll in the course ourselves and start, working through the curriculum and understanding it from a student perspective. Or if we already know that this is the course that we want to teach, we can assign it right here into one of our existing CodeHS courses. We also offer our Georgia curriculum that is available in Spanish as well. So what I can show you too from the course catalog page is that we can see from this page which courses um, have Spanish translations, and you will see that in the bottom right of each of these courses, if they have this symbol here, ES, and that'll tell us that this course is also available in Spanish. And then lastly, one of the more important ones too here is the standards framework. So how well these courses align to the Georgia state standards. So this is, again, another great resource. So the Georgia State page, another tool I recommend bookmarking. And we can see, which of these courses that CodeHS offers and how aligned they are to the um, Georgia computer science standards as well. All right, so we're going to do a little bit more detailed overview now of the two courses in conversation for today. So Intro to Software Technology and Intro to Hardware Technology. So we're going to start with the Intro to Software Technology, and we'll explore this course in a little bit more detail. All right, so in the chat, I went ahead and put the course overview, the syllabus, and then this guide that explains the difference, excuse me, that were made in last year to this course and how they are different than the previous existing Georgia specific courses here. And so we'll go through all of these documents as well. And then one thing I'll note as I'm going through this webinar, um, you know, with this webinar, we're, only here for an hour. And so, a big point of what I'm trying to do today is to share all of the resources that are available for you for these two courses. One of the best pieces of advice that I can give you today is if you are maybe new to teaching computer science or just new to teaching these particular courses, the best way to learn and understand these courses is to actually enroll in the course that's yourself and start going through the course as a student. That is one of the best ways to learn. That's how I learned when I was teaching different computer science courses, and something that I recommend for you to do as well. So the Intro to Software Technology course, it is a high school course. It has some programming in it as well. It is 160 hours full year course, and it has Spanish translations in here. So this course is basically a foundational course for many of the Georgia IT pathways. And so we talked about that earlier. And so if you reference this document again, the Georgia DOE website, you can see Intro to Software Technology appears in a lot of different areas here on the Georgia DOE website. So this is definitely one of the more popular courses. So it's a foundational course for many of those Georgia pathways. It's designed for high school students to understand, communicate, and adapt to digital world as it impacts their personal lives, society, and the business world. So what is included? It includes some JavaScript. And students will learn how to program in JavaScript with our mascot, Carol the dog. Um, they'll learn some computing basics, operating systems and software, IT professional projects. They'll learn a little bit of web design and web development in this course as well. So one thing I would like to do is let's go ahead and so with those three links that I put in the chat there, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the course overview page. And this is where we can learn a little bit more detail about this course as a whole. So you can see if we scroll down on the course overview page, we can see all of the modules that make up this particular course. So our digital citizen, digital citizenship and cyber hygiene, programming with Carol, and then we jump into some Carol challenges, so more testing students' knowledge of the JavaScript that they are learning, computing basics, operating systems and software, and then we jump into a project on IT professionals. And then students start to learn some HTML and CSS, and then they wrap that up by creating their own homepage on CodeHS. And then they further dive into a little bit more programming with JavaScript and graphics. So getting away from Carol and learning more about JavaScript and graphics, web developments, and then wrapping it up with computer science careers as well. So on this course overview page, you're able to demo some of the projects that students will experience throughout this course, and just various different course resources that are available. And then last but not least, the standards alignment here. So we can see that it is 100% aligned to the Georgia Intro to Software Technology course as well. And if you want to view the standards and which lessons match up with which particular standard, you can view that as well. So we can see that we have 64 standards, and we can see the standards here are on the left and which particular lesson that standard appears in as well. From the course syllabus page, this is where we can view a little bit more detail about the course itself. So, what the learning and programming environments are like, prerequisites. And I will say for this course and also for Intro to Hardware Technology that there are no prerequisites for this. So students do not need any kind of previous background in computer science or programming. So this course is designed to be highly visual, dynamic, interactive, making it engaging for students that are new to programming and computer science. And then one thing I will note that I really like on the syllabus is that each module is broken down, and it'll tell you a time frame, 2 weeks or approximately 8 hours. And so you'll see when you get the title of each of the modules. So for module 1, digital citizenship and cyber hygiene, that we can see that this module should take approximately 8 hours to complete. And so I like that. It talks about the various objectives and topics covered, and then example projects and assignments that are covered in each of those modules. So a little bit more detail than you get on the course overview page as well. And again, we see this module 2, programming with Carol, that's 7 weeks or approximately 35 hours. So depending on how your schedules are set up, that could take you 7 weeks, or, as you are planning your school year, determining how that 35 weeks would work across however many weeks, depending on if you're a block-based schedule or you see your students every day, those sort of things. The last thing I'll mention that I put into the chat there is the Intro to Software Technology Georgia Guide. And so again, another different great resource to have if this is the course that you are teaching. And so what we can see at the top here, things that are new compared to the older Georgia course, Intro to Digital Technology. So that used to be the state course, but now the state is moving away from that. So if you are familiar with the Intro to Digital Technology course, so how does this new Intro to Software Technology course compare to the older Intro to Digital Technology course? And so this is a wonderful resource that our curriculum team put together that helps to talk about, okay, what is new in this course? What is old? What are things that may be carried over from the Intro to Digital Technology course and, various new and existing things. Um, so we can see, right off the bat, different modules that were removed. So what is computing, graphics and challenges, mobile apps project, networks and the internet, and the final project here. And then, it goes through each of the modules and, if things were added, removed, modified, anything like that, that will be noted in this particular document. Again, this is comparing the older Intro to Digital Technology course to the new Intro to Software Technology course. So if you had been teaching Intro to Digital Technology and now you are transitioning over to Intro to Software Technology through CodeHS, how do those courses, how are they the same? How are they different? What kind of modifications were made from course to course? Okay, and now switching gears, before we jump into looking at some example lessons from each of these courses, let's now take a nice high-level overview and look at the Intro to Hardware Technology as well. So just like I did for Intro to Software Technology, I'm going to go ahead and put some helpful links into the chat here. And so the first one is going to be our course overview, then our syllabus, and then again, a similar comparison, intro to digital technology course, that older course, and how this relates, how it compares, how it's different than the to the newer intro to hardware technology course. So let's look at this course overview. So this course, again, designed for high school students. It's 20 less hours. It's 140 hours, still that year time frame. And we can see some similar content, but then also a lot of different content as well. So we see that digital citizenship and cyber hygiene course. And then after that, we see a lot of differences in here. So operating systems and software, hardware, a project on troubleshooting, different methodologies to solve sample IT support type of issues, networking, IT professionals, a project on IT proposals, cybersecurity, digital forensics, and computer science careers as well. Again, we have on the overview page various demo programs that you can test out and run to see what type of things students will be doing in the course. And then again, with the standards alignment here, we can see that for Georgia Intro to Hardware Technology, that is, again, 100% aligned to the Georgia State course as well. And you can view the standards here and see which particular Georgia standards here on the left align with which specific lessons on the right. And then similar, we have our syllabus. Again, I'll point out that, the syllabus is a great resource to look at, what topics and various assignments are covered in each of the modules, as well as the time frame. So how much time are you going to be spending, should you be spending on each of these modules? You'll find that in each of the syllabi as well. And then again, we saw our curriculum team develop the Intro to Software Technology Georgia Guide, and now we have a similar one, the Intro to Hardware Technology Guide. So I won't spend too much time going over this one as well, but a great resource if you had been teaching Intro to Digital Technology and now you are transitioning over to Intro to Hardware Technology. How do those courses compare? How are they different? What assignments have been modified and updated? What are new and what are existing? Okay, so at this point in time, we are now going to look at a few just example lessons, again, and a nice high level overview of each of them. some lessons are specific to Intro to Software Technology, some are specific to Intro to Hardware Technology, and some you'll see that there is an overlap in each of those courses. And again, the best way, if these courses are new to you, the best way to really learn and understand the content is to sign up for your free teacher account on CodeHS today and enroll yourself as a student in one of these courses or both of these courses if you plan on teaching them in this upcoming school year and working through the curriculum as a student. That is one of the best ways to really understand the curriculum inside and out. So from the intro to software technology, so we have this lesson. One of our first units is on programming, and that is with Carol the dog. So students learn to program in JavaScript through a highly engaging and visual programming through what's called Carol the dog. This is one of the first lessons in there where Carol cannot turn right. So right from the very beginning, we learn about Carol the dog and various commands that Carol knows and that Carol does not know. And based on the commands that Carol knows, we write programs to have Carol perform different actions, whether it's navigating through a maze, finding tennis balls, and taking those tennis balls and running to the other side of Carol's world. And so it's, again, a highly engaging visual way for students to learn basic principles of programming in JavaScript. So this is one of the first lessons. This is called Carol Can't Turn Right. So in this lesson, students learn how they can create their own commands for Carol by calling and defining various functions or methods. So, those functions allow programmers to create and reuse new commands that make code more readable and scalable. And so that's what students are learning in this particular lesson. So we can see the general outline of this lesson, and I'll go ahead and pull it up right here as well. And so with this lesson and how most of our lessons typically start off is that students are introduced to the lesson through a video. And so as the teacher, you have the ability to show students the video. You could watch the video yourself and then present the material to your students. There are slides that are available that you can, if you want to be the person delivering the content, you could use the slides and deliver the content yourself, or you could have your students work through this lesson, on their own. The way it's designed is that it could be run synchronously or asynchronously. And then generally followed up after the video are these what we call check for understanding. So these short quizzes that test you on understanding the content from the video. And so let me go ahead and pull up these first few examples so we can get an idea of what these look like. Give me 1 second. Okay, and so this should be perfect. And so this is what the videos would look like on your end. So, students have the ability to, play the video, or we can toggle to the slides up here at the top, and we can go through the slides themselves instead of watching the video. One thing I did as a CodeHS user in the classroom myself is that I typically would run the lesson myself and teach my students, but depending on the lesson, or if a student was absent, using the video was a fantastic resource for them when they came back into the classroom and assigning them that video to watch as homework or as the first thing they do when they come back into class. And then followed next would be the check for understanding. So again, very short 2-question quiz. They vary from anywhere from like 1 to maybe 5 questions typically that will test you on your knowledge of the video there as well. And then let's go ahead and take a look at one of the auto-graded exercises in here. So here we see that we're asked to write a program to have Carol build a slide and then end up at the bottom right corner of the world. And so we can see this is the starting world for Carol and how we want Carol to move about and what the ending world should be. So students have access to a lot of great resources in here. They have the exercise over here on the left, as well as some quick, what we call quick docs. So just some commands that have been used recently as kind of like a scaffold as students are learning new material. We have our main IDE here in the center. Students are able to run and submit their program. And then over here on the right, we have a lot of ways that students can interact with the program. So they can simply just click run. And let me throw some code in here. They can simply click run and see the program run really fast. They can change this toggle and have the program run a little bit slower. They can reset their code. They can step through their code one line at a time as well. And then they're able to check their code against the auto graders and see what worked, what didn't work, and then a little bit of feedback of what you maybe need to do to go back and finish that example. They have the assignment directions. One of my favorites is the documentation tab here. So this is a great online resource for students. So if I open up this tab, and I always recommend students opening this up in a separate tab, students have access to all of the code, all of the commands that Carol knows how to do. And you'll see this in all of our programming units, that there is a documentation tab and a great resource for students to have to reference so that they're not always raising their hand and asking you a question about what commands does Carol know. And so they're able to look that up themselves and be a little bit more self-sufficient. All right, so that again is one of our examples from the Intro to Software Technology. So Carol can't turn right. The next one I want to talk about is also from the Intro to Software Technology, and that's collaborative programming. So if you are new to teaching programming, new to the world of programming, in most classes, and how I ran my class, I never had students programming by themselves. They were, at some point in time, they were always, for the most part, working with at least one other student, maybe a group of 3 or 4. And so with this lesson, students learn one of the basic principles, which is called pair programming, and how this is an effective collaborative way of how students can work through problems together and have various roles and learn about how to help each other and learn from each other and different programming techniques. And so this is a fantastic lesson for students that are new to the world of computer science to learn what pair programming is, why we should use that practice in the classroom, and why it's used outside of the classroom in industry as well. And with that, so students will do a lot of collaboration. And one of the features that we have to offer is the sandbox. And so I do want to demonstrate this quickly here too as well. So when you create your teacher accounts, you have access to the sandbox, and so do your students as well. So at the top left here, next to the computer icon, you will see the sandbox icon. So in here, this is where you can create sandbox programs in different languages, all the way from Java, JavaScript, Python, HTML, C++, SQL, and then a few other languages. Some notable ones I will mention as well are Scratch and Scratch Junior. Those are newer programming languages that we've added into our catalog. But so we can create a Carol program in here as well. And so what's fun about this is that students, can create their own assignments and they can customize their own Carol programs. So if you find, some students are maybe further excelling or need some new challenges, you can have them create their own Carol exercises and try to stump their fellow classmates or help create assignments for you or projects. And so it's just a fun way for students to be able to program and work through different assignments in a little bit different lens. And so the sandbox is a great area. You can organize your sandbox as well, where you have your programs. You can have folders as well. You can look at if you have a class, you can look at your entire class's sandbox and go in and look at students' sandbox programs as well. So if you're working on an assignment and you want to do some grading or just check on progress, you can do that all through the sandbox as well. So another fantastic resource. And with that, um, after creating a sandbox program, you are able to do what's called this like real-time collaboration. So if you are not familiar with what that might be, similar to if you were to open up something like a Google Doc or Google Slides and share that with somebody to collaborate on. So you're able to see who is in that collaboration together. You can see when the other person writes. You can do your own typing, and it's saved to whoever's account created that sandbox as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put a resource in here about real-time collaboration so that you can learn a little bit more about that feature on our site. But don't sleep on the real-time collaboration. It's a fantastic resource to use in the classroom. Students enjoy it, makes things even more engaging, and it's a lot of fun. One other thing I will mention, you can share sandbox programs and you can have your students either collaborate like we just talked about, or they have the ability to make a copy of that program, which will save all of the existing code into their sandbox, and then they are able to modify it on their own version as well. And so that is what is called a fork. So able to make a copy of a sandbox program, and it's very easy to do. Right in the top of the IDE, they'll see this fork button, and you or your students are able to make a copy, and that would save right to your sandbox as well. All right, a few more lessons that I want to discuss. The next one is called comparing operating systems. And so this lesson is available in both the IST and IHT course. And so this is a great lesson, and I'll show you some of the activities in just a second. So this lesson on operating systems and software modules um, is, it's in both of our courses, and students get to dive deeper into the differences between the three main big operating systems. So we have Windows, Mac, and Linux. So students get to learn how operating systems store and manage files, and just the differences and similarities in each of these systems interfaces. And so let me go ahead and pull this one up here. This is cool. So right here. Yeah, so in this particular lesson, students get to see a virtual, Windows, and be able to kind of explore, the Windows operating system, and, see how it works if they're not familiar with it. Same with the Mac operating system. So a fun way for students to be able to, compare and contrast the differences between those operating systems, as well as take a look at Linux. And then they end with a reflection here at the end. So what is a, GUI? Which interface did you like the best? So this could be a nice open discussion to have with your students. I'm sure students have their own opinions about which operating systems. Maybe some students didn't even know what an operating system was and what differences that those operating systems could have. From the intro to hardware technology, so this one's specific just to the intro to hardware technology, is the common network attacks lesson. And we'll look at a few of those resources in just a moment. So it's found in the cybersecurity module. And in this lesson, students will learn about the social engineering and how that is used in various cyber attacks. Students also get to learn what a DDoS and DOS attacks are, how those are similar, how those are different, and various internet protocols to overwhelm a particular network. So in this lesson, a couple things I want to highlight. This video, I think, is pretty eye-opening, and students, when I showed this to my students, this was something that really caught their eyes. So this video, this guy shows how easy it was, to hack into a company. He's part of a team that was hired to test a company's cybersecurity infrastructure. And so it's very eye-opening and a good conversation starter as we start talking about cybersecurity. Another great video in here, going through what a DDoS attack is, how relevant these are, how interesting, and then just some reflection questions. How do these actually work? What makes it difficult to prevent these type of attacks? And how are they related? How's a DDoS attack related to Internet of Things? And then in this simulation, students get to see an example of what a DDoS attack may look like. And so kind of another cool resource for students to be able to further see and understand and be able to explain and maybe see in real time what happens during a DDoS attack. All right, so we are getting to the end of our webinar today. So thank you so much for everybody that attended. A couple of things I do want to share, and I will put these into the chat. So we have a few different ways of how you can participate with CodeHS and join our community, whether it's joining our CodeHS Facebook group or certified educator page, earning CodeHS micro credentials, testing your knowledge in Java, JavaScript, Python, web design, web development, cybersecurity, a lot of different ways of how you can test your knowledge. And then we are also on a lot of different social media pages, Instagram, X, TikTok, a lot of great stuff out there too. One thing I'm going to share here at the end is our webinar survey. So, another resource that we use in order to make these webinars more effective and be able to share what information is most important for our teachers. So if you don't mind taking a couple minutes, sharing what you liked about this and ways of how we can, continually improve our practices here at CodeHS. And last but not least, the attendance link. So if you missed this, or if you have not signed into CodeHS yet, make sure that you sign into CodeHS first and then click on this certificate of completion so that you can receive your certificate of completion for attending today's webinar. Upcoming summer webinars that we have a jam-packed schedule. So this week, if you're teaching AP computer science, we have a webinar which is tomorrow, getting started teaching AP CSP, as well as computer science in rural Georgia schools. And then the following week, teaching cybersecurity, getting started teaching computer science in middle school, rolling out our new game development in Unity course, starting off in August, collaborating with AI and teaching game development in Unity as well. So you can find all of these webinars and sign up for them on codehs.com/free-pd. So I encourage you to take a look at those, and hopefully we'll be able to see you on another webinar soon. And if you are interested in bringing CodeHS to your school and you want to learn a little bit more, and look at some of our pro features and what that offers and how that can help you in your classroom, please take a look at this, fill this out, and somebody from our team will be able to help you out there. So I do want to thank you again for attending this webinar live. For those of you that are here today, right now, during your summer, and for those of you that are watching this webinar back, thank you so much for joining. I hope you learned a little bit more about these two Georgia-specific courses, Intro to Software Technology and Intro to Hardware Technology. So again, I want to thank you so much for joining, and thank you for everything that you do for our students.